There once was a legend about treasures and gold, about all things magic, about a girl and her boy, wizards and dragons.
Not a bad little track. Unfortunately, it's all going to get less epic from here. The market is pretty much in the same levels that we had 24 hours ago. Now, this is widely expected that we weren't going to get much action. And I mean, look, you can't ask for too much. What we are getting though is a little bit of selling in the stock market. That seems to be a little bit independent, more to do with just a feeling that we're rolling over a little bit on the US stocks. So this has actually been the last 30 days have been the quietest on record in the US stocks. So quietest in 20 years actually in terms of movement. So you can see how ridiculously tight it is compared to what it was back in the Brexit. 100 pip range on the Dow for 30 days is pretty crazy. But we did feel that we were breaking down yesterday. I sold a little bit of DAX at the start when I got this little. This is open basically at 4 o'clock. Market had a little push higher, then reversed down. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is happening. So I sold a little bit of DAX, mainly because of the lead from the US though, and just that sentiment, and a few guys calling the tops, and I was like, oh, okay, we're pulling back. There's a chance here that Yellen's going to announce something, so might as well take profit from all-time highs, right? I mean, that argument's compelling. So we got some pullback, probably just slight selling today, nothing crazy, but that does have a little bit of an impact onto the rest of the market, in that it stopped a little rally here in the dollar yen. Dollar yen was attempting to do something. It's attempting to do a little rally. But with that selling coming through, it's pulled it back down a little. So with that happening, you also got the euro. Obviously when dollar yen's falling, euro has a chance to pop higher. So euro's back to those levels, dollar yen's back to familiar levels. Pound stalling this rally, probably going to stall until after the Yellen speech. I mean, it's looking pretty strong still, but it is definitely possible here that we stall for the next 24 hours as well. So I'm expecting it to be even quieter than than yesterday. I'm thinking about taking profit here on this pound Swiss, just in case. I mean, I don't have to, and if I did pick the bottom, then that would be great in terms of the potential upside. But I might just be a little prudent. So going into the announcement tomorrow, I'm going to be holding short dollar CAD and long euro, and I'm not really going to be trading until afterwards, after that announcement, or on Monday. So that's my situation. That trade from the last few weeks, the Aussie Kiwi, is still pretty painful, but signs of a little bit of buying today in Asia. That was a good little start. We'll see if we can hold above 104. What I want to see happening is a little bit of basing, and then I might consider buying a little bit more, but it's looking pretty dreadful, so there is no rush. But yeah, that's not really a Fed trade. That's just the RBNZ's going to deliver a bearish statement, fail, and the RBNZ Wheeler's going to say something negative on the next speech, fail. And so I was like, well, so I'm really getting crushed here by the RBNZ, and my just incorrect reading here on how dovish they're going to be. And so in all reality, if I get a move back to 105, I should probably cut these two, see if I get a chance, and if it drops lower, that potential here to have to add to protect. I mean, look, I'm playing something that's near all-time lows, so if I ever go to war, it's usually in something like this, but it's just bad practice. You can give away months of profit in one trade I do. At the moment, it's fine, about break even from the other trades this month, but it easily can get out of control if it breaks that 104 level. Right, it easily can get out of control. So you don't really want to leave your fate, when you're trading, to a pair reversing, right? I mean, you don't want to leave your. This is not a trade anymore. This is like this is something else, right? This is like gone to the long-term investment stage. And anytime you hear a trader say that, it's like, yeah, right. You just don't want to cut. You just don't want to admit defeat. Which is true, but We'll see. We'll see if I can get out of it alive. It's just me. No one else is following. Actually, a lot of people buying Aussie Kiwi. Killer's buying Aussie Kiwi. And it's been one of the most popular trade ideas in the trade room as well. I mean, there's a reason everyone wants to buy it. And there's a reason we're all getting killed here. It's just that the Kiwi is too strong. You can't sell the Kiwi, right? The Kiwi tells you when it's going to be sold. You don't tell it. But we will read some research on that a little bit later. So dollar CAD is related to oil. It's actually surprisingly holding up strong, given that the build was pretty big yesterday. So the oil rolled over. Then we got a new low, barely, but still did a little bit of damage to this pair. And I thought that dollar CAD would be back towards 129.50 and stopping me out. But the US dollar's gone that weak side again after the dollar yen fail and the risk off. So it looks like we're going to survive, hold this into that Janet Yellen speech. Most likely it's going to be okay. It's still one that is developing, so I'm going to give it some time, a little bit of time. And the euro, I mean, I'm just bearish on the US dollar, and I think the euro's gaining for about time. So I've got a good level on the euro. So if I get stopped at entry, I get stopped at entry. But yeah, I mean, that's the market wrap. Very similar to yesterday. Nothing really changed. Nothing broke new levels really. So you can't really expect a new trade out of you. Yeah. That selling of the DAX, I wasn't going for much more than this, so closing out already at 10.5 actually on the first tip. So that's the DAX. Let's have a look at Aussie. Aussie is a boring pair at the moment. So the profit taking started. We didn't get back to the trend line, but it's just sitting well poised. Support at 76. It's going to do a big move next. It's going to do a big move soon, but it's by no means by no means is it clear which way it's going to go. I mean, there's pretty, there's good arguments you can make for both sides here. If we were down at 74 or 73, then I could see the top side easier. But here, you can imagine there's a bit of resistance on that move to 78.50. It won't be a fast move, I don't think. It's unless Yellen completely goes super dove, then I was thinking today how this is going to play out. Actually, if she goes this dovish, but acknowledging there could be a rate hike soon, road, a lot more emphasis is going to be placed on the NFP next week. So the market will say, well, she hasn't made the decision yet. They're waiting for more data. And what sort of data will they be waiting for? I mean, their most important monthly data is that NFP. So you're going to, the market might switch to the NFP looking mode. And then again, we could have this, surprisingly meek follow through. I mean, we're all waiting for this speech to potentially give us this movement. But as it comes out as expected, where she said with the data dependent, and that they're moving closer to raising rates, that means that the market will wait for that NFP really to make or break the decision for her. You might get some small US dollar buying on that, but nothing crazy. So yeah, I'm not sure that tomorrow is going to be this super frenzy day. I'm hoping it is, because I'm just, when you have volatility, you have potential to make money. When there's no volatility, it's very hard. Opening trades for no reason type scenario is not great. Yeah, no, I read that, Big River, but let's show that to the boys. This is really good RBNZ outline. Alright, so basically he's blaming the RBNZ for fucking up here. Using the wrong words, basically. Let's see if we can zoom in. All right, so it's just basically the main thing he's saying is that the New Zealand yield is stronger than the Aussie yield by that 0.5%, and that in the current global environment that's being amplified, where it wasn't much before, but it is a lot now because everything is zero. So that's why they're choosing the Kiwi over the Aussie at the moment. Also, you got that really strong dairy data, and you had Fonterra raising their price that they're paying the farmers by 50 cents today, which is a fair bit. So I mean, I can understand what's going on here. That's like a 10% rate a hike to the farmers, which is great for them. So he was one of the guys who was ultra bullish on the Aussie Kiwi as well. He's a pretty good analyst, this guy, and he's blaming the RBNZ for why it didn't work out. But I know that he understands that while this trade is great in theory, the price action is terrible. And that sometimes happens. When a trade looks too easy, it just doesn't work out at all. And so this is what he wrote. This is something I've been saying for a while. It does not appear that RBA will respond quickly to an appreciating currency. The RBNZ is readying another cut and may keep going towards year end and into 2017 if the exchange rate falls. But what was the problem with that? Wheeler came out in his big speech on Tuesday and said we're not going to do rapid rate cuts. Right? So that's like, wow, that's the wrong thing to say. You don't say that. Even if you're thinking that, you don't say that. And then he goes into a fair bit of depth here. But what he does later is he looks at the Aussie Kiwi interest rate spread. Now this is very important. All right, they rarely stay different for a long time. So what we're looking at here is the difference in the Aussie and the Kiwi swap. All right, so for a little bit of time, you had the Kiwi significantly higher than the RBAs, and that was last year when the market went down to 101, and it was down to like almost 1.5%. That's when they were cutting heavily the RBA. All right, but since then the RBNZ has been playing chase up, and rather than this line continuing to come back together, you've had this another dip, and this is where I've been buying actually. And so this is surprising to me that they have diverged further. I think it's even lower than 36 basis points. I think it's down to 34. But it's just not working as a reliable indicator at the moment. And the main reason is because flows is dominating, and 32 basis point difference is actually a lot in the current environment with low interest rates than back in the day when, because all the central banks are zero, the relative difference of 36 compared to the 1.5 back in the day might be same. So therefore it's no longer providing that sort of correlation with the currency rate, and New Zealand dollar is the first choice for flows. But it won't stay apart from. And maybe, I mean, this could be the last attempt at parity, right? You can imagine that. Trying to push it down, take out some weak stops of parity, and then reverse up to 115. That's the sort of stuff that goes on in the currency game. So then we're going into what's going on in the commodities. So the big ones for Australia are copper and iron ore, and the big ones in New Zealand is dairy. Now dairy was getting crushed last year, but it's come back strong in the last few months. And if you're looking at the blue line here, that's a huge jump. That's like 40% rally, 30% rally. And so there is an argument to be made that the Kiwi will continue to rally just on that alone. But RBNZ is the one looking to cut relatively soon, but not rapid cuts according to Wheeler. And if we're looking at the iron ore, it's hard to put too many things on here. Anyway, it's been rallying too. It's been doing surprisingly well. You know, people asking what's going on. The demand out of China steel is not there, so we don't know really where this iron ore demand's coming from. But the price is going higher, so it could be that, you know, how in China at the moment there's some artificial commodity markets going on. People are investing in commodity bubbles, which is going to end great. It's going to end so well. So relatively, there's bigger moves in the milk prices versus iron ore, and the iron ore is a little bit more unsustainable. So I'm a bit concerned about that. But it's a very good report, isn't it? But even on this measure, which is the Aussie New Zealand commodity play, right? You know, it's still lagging, and it's noticeably lagging. And it's like, well, what's the cause? Yeah, but okay. So the fair value is showing it is 2.5 standard deviations below. I mean, doesn't mean it's going to snap back, guys, at all. You sort of get the feeling the Kiwi's going to try and pop that 73.50. If it does that, that might push the Aussie Kiwi down to the low 103s. So it might not be over there at the pain. Nothing focuses your mind like some losses, right? I'm trying to be as objective as possible. I mean, you're looking for it. So this is where this is his main argument for what's going on here. This is why he's saying he's wrong. He was just saying that in the current low global yield environment, the semi-meager 30 basis point difference in the Aussie Kiwi 2-year swap has a bigger punch than in past years. Okay, so, you know, we might have to wait some time. I mean, I can handle it going down to parity, but I don't really want to have to play it like down there. If I didn't buy 2.5 lots, I should have only bought 1 lot. Then I wouldn't be so worried. All right, but this is a great report. This is free for everyone, can go there. He writes a report that's very good on the Aussie as well, every now and again. So it's just a report that he puts out, you know, about once a week or twice a week. And so he was wrong on this one though. Everyone was talking about it. I was talking about it to you guys. New Zealand dollar is going to be smashed. And we were crushed. Or getting crushed. So, yeah, I mean, he's focusing on Yellen too. We can have a little look here, see what he's saying. When did he release this? Monday. I didn't actually find out what Kuroda's doing in... I told you I was going to find out what Kuroda was doing over in Jackson Hole. You know, he's announced his surprise visit over there. I haven't found out. Has anyone seen anything on that today? I haven't found anything out there. He's just going for a little bit of a travel, or is he going there to announce that the BOJ is going to go full Super Saiyan? Is that what? Maybe he's announcing that. Yeah, I didn't see anything today. Yeah, let me just check, boys. Okay, there is actually something from the... There is something tonight in terms of the Jackson Hole. So there is a little pre-Yellen game. Some of the Fed governors will be speaking, taking questions from the audience. We'll meet and answer questions from 120 activists for the Campaign for Popular Democracy's Fed Up campaign. Oh, Jesus. They're going to be some hard-hitting questions. Oh, was I interrupting? You guys can't see because of my big fat head. I should have... Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Big River. That's the number one question that my clients have been asking me. What time's Yellen speaking? I don't know, man. I've been trying to figure it out too. None of my trader friends know either. It's a secret. Hopefully tomorrow, for the update tomorrow, we'll have a bit of understanding. Okay, that's the same one I just read. And so Danksky put out a little ECB preview. No one's going to read that. Why would you write that? Okay, no one cares about this. It's all about Yellen and NFP. What we might do though is check just the technicals, just because. What did that guy yesterday tell us? That's the 5 best things he wants to hear from a currency trader. I love technical analysis. Was that what he said? I respect technical analysis. You know, so do I. Oh, I've got the fixed income. Yeah, we don't need this. You don't want to look at that. We'll have a look at this in a sec. Just let me check quickly. Oh, we do it. We got it. He seemed like a nice guy. Imagine if someone sent him a little message saying, "Those dudes at Forex Signals are trolling you." You know, dollar yen's giving it a good go, right? It's really surprisingly stable. I'm surprised it hasn't broken 100. So, you know, perhaps it's not a foregone conclusion. This whole US dollar selling bias I got. You know, if she is bullish, I mean hawkish enough to get the chances of the September rate hike to 50-60%, isn't it going to be ridiculous? Euro will be back towards 111, 110, dollar yen back to 103, Aussie back to 75. Everything's going to be exactly where it's been for the same time. You know, I think sometimes I'm rooting for this big move just so we can get some market momentum, a little bit of trending. Well, dollar Swiss looks interesting, doesn't it? That would mean that our Euro Swiss obviously has not been filled. Euro Swiss must be up towards the top end. So we missed it again. We've got to start raising our... Let's raise it up to, say, 40. Just so we get in. Yeah, so this is one of the pairs I don't mind buying as well. I just... it's pretty similar to the dollar CAD short, so... And I'm Euro long as well, so I don't really want to add a third position here. But if you're not in the market, and you don't trade the CAD, and you don't want oil exposure, then Aussie US makes more sense if you don't want oil exposure. It's a nice level here. If you're bullish, yeah. Kiwi requires a little bit more aggression from you, a little bit more belief in the US dollar sell-off, and also, you know, just continuing search for yield's going to go on. But yeah, I mean, it obviously if US dollar's getting sold, then Kiwi's going to do really well. Euro yen, yesterday when we did the update, it was down below 113. Sort of missed that, guys. Sort of missed that entry. We were talking as it was falling yesterday. At 8 o'clock, we're like, oh, this will be an interesting little buy. We went and looked at the 1 hour. I don't know if you missed it yesterday. We were having a little sneaky look at this one. I mean, if you think the euro's going up and you think dollar yen's struggling to break 100, you know, it makes a little bit of sense to have a little look at the euro yen. It's been basing now for a while. That's a very tight range for the euro yen. So there is a relatively large move coming. This is key level. Where's that? Where's that? 114. Okay, 114. So we might just sit here, right? I mean, let's leave a little limit order. Let's play breakout. Let's play the breakout. Okay, if this gets filled, it's probably going a lot higher. Let's just, as for science, leave this order here and see what happens. Just for science. Alright, where were we? Euro yen. And our friend the Euro pound. We missed that one, guys. I mean, no, we sold some, right? But we missed a lot of that sell-off. Euro pound, Euro pound. How did we play it? Where did we get in and what did we do? Alright, so we sold... Alright, we didn't do too bad. But I was still pissed off this morning when I was down underneath 85. That I got out too early. Let's sell again. Let us sell again on a rally towards 86. I mean, look, there's no reason why we can't preset a few trades as well. That are not US dollar trades. You don't want to preset your limit orders with US dollar at the moment. Just... I mean, Yellen might say something at the beginning of a speech and then at the end say something negative. But yeah. Alright guys, if there's no questions more, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to try and find the timing for this Jackson Hole tomorrow. I'm going to find out why Kuroda is over there, and obviously we're going to go into a little bit more in-depth preview of what Janet Yellen can say, what she might say. One last thing. In the stream last night we did the survey update. Remember that survey that we were doing? And 85% of all the respondents picked the same way as I did. So maybe we're schooling all together and we're going to get crushed here. So the dovish hike in 2016. And only 10% think that she's going to talk about the nominal GDP. So yeah, everyone's is pretty much on the same page here. So there is a little bit more potential for a drastic move if it's something else, right? So let's keep that in mind. If you're watching this at YouTube, come across to Forex Signals. Got a little chat room here. 130 of us in there. You can help Big River Man find a sound recording that he's been looking for. I can't put that on. It'll get the stream banned, won't it? Alright guys, good luck with your trading. Trade safe. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do the big preview of the Jackson Hole. I should be, if we can find out if it's before midnight, I should be able to be in the room at least when it does come out, so we can sort of react a little bit together. Other than that, trade safe, yeah?